All right.
Okay, let's come back into order in the open session. And item 5 was intentionally omitted.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
It's like that page in the report that says this page intentionally blank.
They just see if you paid attention.
There it is. Thank you. So we will go to item 6, public comment period. I don't believe we have anybody here to speak.
I signed up. I want to comment on the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay. So then we'll go to item 7, presentation and discussions of the updated report by the Director of Electric Utilities or his designee regarding customer service, business center practices, procedures and policies, billing procedures, and LP&L staffing and performance. Mr. McCollum.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I did want to comment on a few things in the written report. On page 13, Matt always includes a lot of the things that are going on Twitter and some of the news reports. Several stories about our meter reading activities. There's been several video crews that have followed our meter readers around, showing how they read water meters and things like that.
You guys are stars.
Yeah, we've been on TV a lot here lately. On the construction report, which is on page 14, we've gone through and cleaned this report up quite a bit. I think there were quite a few projects on here that have been completed for quite some time, and so those were removed. And the ones that are shown in brown, what we're going to start doing is the ones that are shown in brown highlight on page 14, those are projects that are actually completed. So what we will do is show the projects 1 month in completed status, and then they'll be removed on the future report. So you can kind of see that we're getting a few of these wrapped up. But there were 11 new projects added, a lot of fast food restaurants, other restaurants, it seems like this go around. So we've got 11 new projects, which brings our total now to 76 active commercial projects. The top of page 17, you'll see that our Massengill station was dispatched in the market for 21 days. So even though we're getting into fall weather season and cooler temperatures, that unit is still run quite a bit. Brandon ran a few days as well. So they've been dispatched in the market. The system load curve there, you can see the load is down quite a bit from where it was in the summertime. Question.
Quick question, going back to a lot of the restaurants that you were talking about.
Yes, sir.
With that being at the West End development that they have there, is that going to put any pressure on that part of the system?
In terms of electric load and our ability to serve it. We do have some new feeder capacity that's going in over there in that area. It's involved some road bores. So we've had a company that's doing the design work on these road bores to get us where we can go from the substation, which is on one side of the loop, to the other side of the road with some additional feeder capacity. So that's a good point. We've had to add some additional capacity in that area to serve some of that new load.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, no problem. Sorry, I didn't see your hand go up. On the distribution recap on page 18, reliability was pretty good for the month. You can see the right-hand column, third one from the top. We had a good month for reliability. You know, a lot of our outages are related to bad weather. We didn't have much in the way of weather in October, so that was good. The business office recap on the next page. Our call center handling time has gone down. Most of the students, I guess, are now in their residences, so that call volume has gone down. Wait time has decreased. One of the notes at the bottom of the page talks about a new class of call center representatives. So we did get a new class started recently, and when we have those new CSRs come in, we always have an introductory meeting with them where myself and Andy and Matt go down and give them a few words of encouragement as they first get started, and we kind of tell them early on what our expectations are and what we envision them, their mindset being going into customer service, and we want to treat our customers as our neighbors, things like that. And it seems like here lately we're able to recruit some very high quality folks that are going to be making good CSRs.
On Monday, there was a meeting of about 100 people that was reported in the paper regarding LP&L and some other issues that were involved with the city. And there was a gentleman there that was quoted in the paper. His name is Doug Carr. I don't happen to know him personally. I think he may be an LCU administrator. No?
He's a former delegate, he was with the service center, he was in finance for school districts for years, he's retired.
Former small school superintendent.
He's a very,
school
very
finance guy.
right wing.
But anyway, his issue concerned me, and I think I'd like to ask a question about it. He said, we're asking relief from condescending, insulting, and less than customer-friendly LP&L city staff. I don't want you to comment on his characterization of the LP&L staff because I know differently.
Right. Can I interrupt? Mr. Lomas? I'm going to take a moment of privilege and say it has been a pleasure and privilege working with you. And I'm glad you came back to get your hat because I was going to do that when we opened the meeting. And I just want you to know how much we all appreciate it.
God bless you all.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Thank you. Do we do any sort of baseline customer satisfaction surveys? And if so, do we do? I mean, where are we ranking on that sort of thing? What are we doing along the lines of making sure that our customers are happy when they have a problem?
Okay, let me talk about that a little bit. I actually wanted to talk a little bit about the meeting last night.
I'm sorry.
But I'll address that question early on. In terms of surveys, we have started doing a follow-up survey for customers who have business dealings with one of our CSRs, and it's a voluntary survey that they can either participate in or not participate in. And I haven't seen any information on that. I think it just started not too long ago. But we'll be getting some feedback from that as far as how the
It started September.
September, so it's relatively new. And by the way, it's amazing that most of the responses we're getting are very positive.
Well,
very few negative responses to date.
and that's what my next follow-up to that is, hopefully, because based on what I hear from other citizens, not Mr. Carr, obviously, the customer service is very positive regarding, there's a lot of questions about ERCOT that I'm hearing from people, but customer service-wise, people, like, they have issues, they have problems. Why can't I get my electricity on? Because somebody used to live there that didn't pay the electricity and it wasn't my fault, that kind of thing, you know. But can we put those comments on our website and the results of those surveys and let the public know where we are and be more transparent with that?
I think we should. I think this is fairly early in the process, but I think at some point we'll want to bring that data to the board so you can see how it's coming out and also probably posting it on our website.
I was going to ask the same thing. I didn't know Charlie was going to do that. But what I was wondering is, a lot of times when I call other companies, customer service, they say this will be recorded for customer service. Have we ever given any thought to that so that some of these comments can be reviewed?
Every one of our calls is recorded.
They are?
The call center.
Do you notify the customer of that?
When we receive a complaint from one of the city council members or from one of y'all, we investigate it, and that's the first thing we do is go to the telephone recording and see what actually happened during that
Do
call.
you tell the customer that up front, that it's been recorded?
I do. It is on the website.
It's on, I'm sure it's on.
Well, Texas law is doesn't require us to do that, but
Jamie Cook, customer service manager. Yes, it does say on the IVR before the customer even speaks to any of the representatives that their call will be recorded.
okay.
And just as a side note, in regards to benchmarking, we just finished an APPA benchmarking survey for customer service that we will be reviewing to begin KPIs for our group.
Jamie has been over the call center in customer service since really the end of May. So she's just now beginning to shape and mold that department kind of in the vision that we all have. And so I think I think that part of the problem, this is the example I always give, is, I've called AT&T over years and years, and I've had horrible experience on the phone with them. And at this point, I just won't call them. And my experience with AT&T, they may be perfect today, but I won't call them anymore. And I think that's what's happened to our customer base, is they have such a long history of issues that they just don't want to call. They don't know that there's been a change. And we're still in the infancy of this change. But I think that there's already an enormous momentum. The staff downstairs is much happier. They have much more empathy for our customers. They have more the ability to be flexible. If in a case where a fee may need to be waived, in the past that couldn't be done, or in case a customer wants to talk to a supervisor. In the past, that was very difficult to get to a supervisor level. Today, we encourage that. There's a fine line there. You can't have everybody talking to a supervisor, but there is a lot more freedom there. And so I know Jamie has done an outstanding job. We have some other supervisors right under her that are relatively new that are doing a fantastic job. I'm really excited about what they've done. I just don't think it's filtered to the public yet. I think
Well, I
that,
think it has.
and if it hasn't, it's going to.
Well, I want to recognize that it's a tremendous job because half of the people that call in are ready to be manned.
Absolutely, and we have to be ready to turn that around. And that's the encouraging thing. I know that since Jamie started these customer surveys, it's really boosting, our CSRs who have for so long been called just horrible names and just been berated, call after call, and to get these positive. And then David and I and Matt and everybody, we try to get back to those CSRs and commend them. Thank you. This is the direction we want you to go, and that further boosts their confidence and encourages them to be that much better. We've done the same thing in the lobby with our cashiers. There are comment cards now, and so if they and at this point, that encourages them to be the best they can be, and it's because they know that we're all going to be reading these comment cards, and so Jamie's efforts have already been very successful, and as soon as we get the benchmarking in place and a lot of the things that she's already got underway, she's developed a really nice, strong mission statement and values and those type of things for that group, and is really just immersing them in that. And as we bring in new call center rep classes like we've just done, they get a whole new perspective, and we're bringing in training on the existing ones that maybe haven't had training in a long time on what's the new system we've got in place. And so I think hopefully y'all will continue to have less and less upset customers and more positive comments. There's still going to be people upset because people who feel like they're overcharged and we're not giving them their money back are not going to be happy with us. And because there's many times we just can't. So.
Mr. Mayor?
Just a couple comments. One, I think as our business becomes maybe less about generation and more about delivering a service, I think you're on the right path. I think we've got to continue down that path. Hearing somebody talk about key performance indicators to me makes me that's a service business kind of those KPIs when we talk about the service businesses. So that's good. I would hope that as we start to see benchmarking, we'll see those reports and we'll understand how we can get better. I know there's been a lot of discussion about marketing dollars and how LP&L, in a monopoly, and I'm probably on a different side of this fence than at least for some people previously have been. But this to me is one of those areas that as we start to get better at it, we tell our story.
Right.
Because people don't have a choice. But we have a choice to take care of them and to serve them, and I think that's what we want to do. And you're right. I mean, I don't call AT&T either, but I love to call Apple because it's so damn good. They'll call you back when you want them to. It's going to be somebody in the United States. It's generally somebody that's really, really good. I mean, I've had a rotten apple or two, but I don't mind calling them because it's so good, and that's the reputation we want to get.
Before we moved on, I was going to say there's also one more component to this because, like Andy said, Jamie's been doing a great job, and we've really been focusing on, as Andy said, solving the problem, above all else. But the other component to this is also updating our technology and the products that we can offer to our customers. And so, we weren't ready to talk to you about it at this meeting. We will in the future, but we have a lot of really exciting things that we're going to be able to bring on board here in the coming months that are going to help it, because any utility that I talk to that is known for having good customer service, one of the things that they tell you is that they try as much as they can to give their customers all their options so that they don't have to call into the call center. That they can do it through an app, or they can do it online, or they can do it more efficiently. If they want to call, they can, but that's not their only avenue. And so, you know, I think the second half of this is also expanding the ways that they can communicate with us, live chat and things like that. So hopefully we'll get a lot of that done in the next 6 to 12 months.
So, if you want to hear about it, I thought I'd just tell you a little bit about how the meeting went. This, for those of you that didn't see the news last night, read the newspaper, we had a meeting last night. This was a meeting that was brokered by Councilwoman Gibson. It started out as a group of customers in the Lake Ridge area that had some high water bill complaints for the most part, that where their meters were probably read incorrectly in some cases. And it kind of expanded from there. I think a lot of folks that are not from the Lake Ridge area that were there last night. Just about 100 folks. But anyway, Andy started out by giving the metering presentation that y'all saw at the last board meeting. After that, there was a group of the customers that were, I guess, appointed as spokesmen for the group that stood up and made some comments. And then after that, Mac came back and gave some responses to some of the specific comments. And at the end of the meeting, we all stayed behind and talked to customers one-on-one that wanted to meet with us. We got information about specific billing problems that they had that we're going to research every single one of them and get back to them. Just like we do when we hear about a problem that a customer has, when it gets our attention, we research every one of them. Can't always get what they want, but we do what we can to help them out. But anyway, so when the customers, the representative spokespersons got up and started talking, Doug Carr, who was mentioned earlier, was one of the guys that was sort of the central spokesman, I guess, for lack of a better term. But he talked about a whole laundry list of issues that this group was concerned about. There were a couple of them that were related to LP&L, electricity, anyway. One of them was utility rates that never ceased to rise, so there definitely was some concern expressed about the increase in utility rates, and certainly our rates have gone up recently with both the fuel adjustment increase and the 5.75% rate increase on the base rate. There was concern expressed about the demand rates that I'm going to have to get more information on, because I'm not sure exactly what his concern was there. We will do some follow-up on that. And then specific comments that he had, the LP&L bill is too complex. He compared it to Specs bill, which is much simpler.
I get a bill from Spec, it's not. Ours is far better.
We
broke it down on purpose.
You guys know that we spent a lot of time, Andy, Matt, and the billing department spent a lot of time going through and restructuring that bill to try to make it easier for customers to understand what's on there. But it is multi-pages, because you've got a number of services that are getting billed on that bill. And when folks call in and don't understand it, we try to take the time to help them understand it. We probably need to do more information on our website, maybe some YouTube videos or something like that would kind of help customers understand their bills. But the idea behind it being complex is in part it's that way on purpose, so that we get a lot of detail on there so the customers can see where all the charges are. We also get criticized for not being transparent enough, or having time to pass. So, there's a trade-off there, I guess. The other comment he made was that we don't have competition like other cities around us. Well, there's not really any cities around us that are in the competitive marketplace. You have to get into ERCOT areas before you get into competitive areas. Actually, if we get into ERCOT, that would be an option that's available to the policymakers, the governing body at some point, is do we want to opt into competition? Amarillo doesn't have competition, right? So there was a fair amount of misinformation from what was stated. He sort of concluded his remarks by stating that we're asking for relief, and this relief covered a lot of areas, not just electric. And we're asking for better customer service, not condescending. That was the quote that you read. And I want to talk about customer service here a little bit more in just a second. Then there was another spokesperson that said, had a water meter that appeared to have been read in months. Well, I think in fact it had been read, but she was not convinced at the time. Another customer said that the water meter had not been touched. She called us, we came out and gave her a credit. So we solved her problem, and it probably, this particular one had been read incorrectly. We resolved the problem, but then she went on to talk about something that happened a long time ago. And, she accused us of retaliation in that instance. I'm not familiar with the details on what that was all about, but we had solved her problem, but then she went on to keep going. There was another lady that had recently been retired, a real nice lady. I talked to her after the meeting. Her average water bill, or her August water bill, had gone up to 40,000 gallons in 1 month. So we're doing some research on that. The preliminary information I received is that her usage just about every month is 35,000 gallons. So 40 was a little higher, but not way out of line compared to what she had been using. There was a retired gentleman from that been in the oil business that had some concerns about our cost recovery energy fee, 24% increase in that, and Matt explained it when he got up later on that we've got the winter-summer differential, that's part of it, and then we've got the fact that we had our fuel adjustment artificially lowered to push money back to the customers, and then of course when we brought it back for it was the last October, there was quite a, if you compare it 1 month in the period when it was down to 1 month when it was back to normal, then it looked like quite a significant increase. So I think that was resolved. Okay, and then so we collected a lot of information from customers after the meeting, and we're going to be researching every one of those and getting back to them. On meter reading, which was really the stated purpose for the meeting, there was a lot of information in Andy's presentation about what we're doing to improve our meter reading. Compensation study review, we're going to be filing a letter with the city manager very soon to ask them to review the pay for that position, which we think will help us recruit more capable people, perhaps. We've had some management change there. We've got a new meter reading supervisor that he's really a top-notch guy. He's the guy that drove me back and forth when we were in when I was going to the EOC during the winter storm of the light. He's really got to know him pretty well during that.
Who was that?
Ty Wood.
So he's the new supervisor, and then if you recall, at one time we just had one meter crew leader, and now we've got 2 crew leaders. So we've got the meter readers separated into 2 groups now. So we've got a little more supervision and oversight. We're doing some monitoring of their accuracy and giving them feedback on that so that they can see where they're doing good, where they need to work on it. Standardized training, which we hadn't historically been using. The new utility quarters are coming, which the ones we have now are quite old. They're 10 years old. And you made the point last night, it's like carrying around a 10-year-old computer going around. And so it may have sticky buttons and things like that. I'm not sure what all kinds of problems we have with those units, but those are getting ready to be replaced. But I would say one of the things that Ty has done since he's been in there, he's emphasized accuracy more than speed. And I think before they were focused entirely on speed at the expense of accuracy. So that led to some of our problems. And then of course we got AMI, which there were several commenters last night that were really anti-AMI. So but I think if we can get approval to move forward with AMI at some point, I think that'll go a long ways to resolving our problems and providing more services and more capabilities for customers to monitor the bill in real time, which I think would be really, really helpful.
No, you're spying.
Well, and Matt made the point last night that if you're concerned about customer privacy, is it more invasive for somebody to be standing over looking over the fence with binoculars to read your electric meter, or for us to read it remotely via Wi-Fi? On customer service, Andy hit a lot of the points that I was going to talk about, but I would say that we've had a culture here historically that wasn't where it needed to be. It's been a major point of emphasis for me and for Andy and our new management team. It's Jamie and her folks. I would say we have an extreme focus on responsive, friendly customer service. It's an emphasis on problem solving, allowing the CSRs to be able to make decisions that might not be entirely in accordance with policy, but that would be, we'll have to give them some guidelines, but that would resolve the problem and get a customer satisfied. And it's having an impact. Just within the last 2 weeks, we've all received emails where a customer had called back in or had been just extremely satisfied with the service. And this is 7. I think there's another one that came in today, so that's 8 now. Compliments for CSRs. And some of the comments that we're hearing is that professional, patient, kind. They seem to care about me. They listen, and they're wanting to help. And that's what we want. That's kind of the culture that we want to get throughout the organization. We're not there yet, but we're moving in that direction as quickly as we can. So I would say that I think we've got the right people. I think we've got the right focus. We've got new tools coming that will help them do their job better. But so that's it on customer service. Any questions or comments on that?
I have a comment. I just want the board to know that the first meeting I had with this group would not allow me to have anyone from LP&L for the meeting. I took all the information back to Andy and David and Matt. We sat, we visited. And Andy and David and Matt are the ones that asked for that meeting last night. They're the ones that initiated that. I just facilitated it. When Spartan, AKA Michael Ward, sent out the press release saying it was a protest against LP&L, that's what sparked the whole hoopla. But it was your guys, your employees that actually initiated that meeting. And did a great job, by the way. Everything, we had a couple of hiccups, but it was a good meeting. At the end of it, we got to talk through a lot of problems, and I think over the time, we're going to get a lot of benefit out of it.
Yeah, I think if you've got, and I agree, we did ask for it, and I think we needed to meet with these folks, because, if you've got a group out there that's just mad and festering over these issues, you got to communicate with them. Even though it's not all that fun to do it when you're going through it at the time, you got to sit down and hear and let them air their beef, air their grievances, and respond to them as best you can.
Well, they were on social media just feeding off each other. Well, social media is not going to fix anything.
No.
We've got to get to the people that can fix it, and of course, we've got Spartan over here feeding them. So it just had to get to the people that can fix it, and we finally got there. So I think we're going to see some positive impact of it, and maybe later down the road, but we'll get it. And I appreciate it.
And I will say this, anytime one of my constituents emails me or calls, I refer it over to you all, and it's taken care of. We're not supposed to fix it, we can't fix it, but I've never had anybody just come back and say, we don't have time to do it, but y'all take care of it.
Well, we do thank you for that. We do take it seriously, and we try to respond, and it's not just when y'all send us one. When I hear about them, and I do what I can to follow up and investigate and fix the problem if we've messed up. One last subject that I want to talk about real quickly, and that was one of the things that this spokesman talked about was our rates. And I would say we've had a management focus on it. It's a long-term focus right now, because we're in the situation right now where we have total requirements contract. We don't have a lot of flexibility of what we do cost-wise right now until this contract winds out. But this is a major focus of our ERCOT move, trying to find the best deal we can during the transition that hopefully will come in at or below where we are now. And we're focused on stable, predictable rates. That was the board approved the levelization plan a while back. And then at some point we will put our transmission. A lot of the cost for 5.75% increase is the capital expenditures that we've got coming up. When we are in a position to find out whether we're going to be able to allow it to go to ERCOT or when we stay in SPP, we're going to file for a transmission rate. That will allow us to get revenue recovery for our transmission costs from either the SPP market or ERCOT market, and that will help reduce our cost, and that will allow us to reduce our rates. Every single day I'm working on this, and it's a major focus of the management team.
I think Andy made the point last night, was what part I heard, was the that our rates are lower than most cities.
We are.
So, when somebody stands up and talks about our high rates, what are you comparing us to?
We'll have that graph here in a little bit. It's part of the report. Mr. Bell?
I'm just gonna mention, Doug and I are friends, I'm not real close, but I've known him like 20 years. His background is business and finance and public schools, both at the service center and school district level. Like me, he's retired, we live in the same neighborhood in District 4. We work out at a Premier, so about once every 2 months, Doug and I go at it in a very friendly way. But he's boy, you convinced Doug to see your side of something, you've gone some way. I mean, I joked with him about it. But I was just gonna say, Karen, I don't know if it's changed, but I know one of our conversations back in the past few months, I know he appreciated your response to him. He wouldn't deal with our District 4 former representative. I don't know, he got crosswise or something. But I mean, it's real easy to get crosswise with my friend Doug, because if you don't agree with him, then you just better get ready to arm wrestle. And I've had tons of conversations about the same stuff with him. I don't think I've ever budged him, but he's a smart man. He's well-meaning. Boy, he just believes government. There's just tons of waste in cities and counties and school districts and in it all industry. He's just like.
He made that comment last night. He said the city thinks they have a revenue problem. What they have is a spending problem.
Oh, yeah, he said that about every
So
public entity.
it's applied to all of us.
His mind is made up.
Oh, yeah, he's a smart and good guy. And I appreciate you listening to him, Karen, because I know if I didn't run into him at Premier, I wouldn't go out of my way to have conversations with him, because I can never win.
Well, that's what you do, you listen to that.
Yes, exactly.
And
You know,
so they-
a lot of our citizens, they pay their taxes and they have the right to opinion. Now, I'm not on Mr. Carter's Christmas card.
I can't imagine.
I've earned that over, it was a bit of public service, not just in this city.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Okay.
I guess we'd like to be opinion.
Everybody that was there was very respectful.
They were.
And Mr. Carr was he started his comments by saying, we're not here to, I forget what exactly the word was, be adversarial. We're not here to be adversarial, we're just here to give you our point of view.
Ms. Henry, well,
I was just gonna say that I think a lot of this is from the water. Almost every time I get a call, it's about water and stuff going on.
Well, and honestly, we've had some meter reading errors, a higher percentage than normal that led to some of the initial concerns. So we're working very hard to fix that problem.
thank you. Anything else on the director report?
That's it.
Okay. Appreciate the focus on customer service. I think it's essential. Transparency and service is obviously one of the things we need to concentrate on. Appreciate y'all's efforts in that regard. That goes everyone's sense.
One other quick comment in relation to the survey that you asked about earlier. We're doing these internal surveys right now, but we could commission an outside survey to be done as well. That's something we talked about internally and really decided whether we should or shouldn't do that. Some utilities do that every year, and so over some period of time, you have this independent consultant or independent survey done, and you can see if you're doing better or worse or whatever.
That might be a thought for where the city stands on AMIs, because I don't want us to take the opposition to that lightly. I'm afraid that, because most of us are in agreement that we have to move in this direction, that there are a lot of people in this city who think the city doesn't work for them and doesn't listen to them. And I think we need to really respect the difference of opinion that maybe this board may have with those who don't want that type of device on their apps. And we can't poo-poo it, because if we do that at our peril, in my opinion. So we just have to emphasize with every citizen that has a problem with us as we move towards those meters that they don't have to have those on their apps. And because you respect their difference of opinion. We don't steamroll them. I think that's the key. And we really, I think elections tell you that if you ignore people, you do it at your peril.
But I agree with everything you said, Charlie, but, over the last 3 years I've been on this board, and you've been in the same 3 years, we have listened very respectfully. But we've been talking about it for probably 4 years, I guess, or longer. It's time to get on with it. I agree, we need to listen, we need to be respectful, but we just need to get on with it.
Well, I think what Mr. Dunn's referring to is basically educating them. Force them to plans.
There's a core group there, and never going to educate them.
We just have, I think it's a respect issue.
Right.
Well, one of the things we absolutely must do is have an opt-out provision, because the folks that think there's harm coming from these potential harm, we need to allow them,
We have to have an opt-out.
respect them to the point of not requiring them to have any.
We're not going to be unhappy about that too, because we're going to charge them for it.
Well, we have to get our money
To charge them to.
No, I understand, but this is their attitude.
And we also need to educate people that way you want to,
Right.
and turn your power off and lower your business.
A major part of the effort is customer education.
As well as to dispel a lot of the wives' tales that are out there about what there's just, goodness gracious.
All right. Anything else under item 7?
No, sir.
Okay. Anybody else got any questions, comments for Mr. McCullough? Thank you all. Appreciate the thoroughness of that report. Item 8, presentation and discussion of financial and capital statements, financing options, audits, and financial policies, local power and light related to debt issues, reserves, account funding, cost allocation, and revenue and expense projections of local power and light. Mr. Burchett.
All right, I have a really short presentation today. As y'all know, we're in the middle of our audit right now, and so y'all didn't have any financial information in your agenda comments or agenda book, but we'll have that starting again next month. But there's a lot of activity going on right now surrounding that. So I just wanted to go over a few quick slides today, as we normally do. Looks like something happened here. The value's taken off. We're about $100.40 on the current average customer, their 1,000 kilowatt hour usage. If you layer in the Excel, I remember they were at about $108 today. So we're about $8 difference. Over a period of time, you can see the LP&L customer has paid $223 less than an Excel customer using the same amount of energy. And then on the Texas average, I believe it's about $105 as the average for this month. It ticked up a little bit this last month, so about $5 difference over at least since we implemented rate stabilization. State average savings has been $275 from what an average customer pays there. This is a slide that I showed yesterday at the Councilwoman Gibson's meeting. This was a kind of a screenshot that had been posted on that Nextdoor app, where CBS News had shown what the average U.S. monthly energy bill was, and this is a source from the Energy Information Administration, which we also supply information to on an annual basis. And so the CBS article only went through 2014, and it showed that the average customer in the United States was paying $114. And of course, all of the comments on the Nextdoor app were that, we're paying $600, we're paying $500, kind of stuff like that. But if you look at LP&L in the same time frame, we were $92 compared to the $114. And then if you look at the current, we're at about 92, the current year, and about 92.10, actually a little less than 2014. And this includes all taxes, all franchise fee. It's a fully loaded per kWh cost. And so the same metrics that were used to compute that, where we come up with the $92. I just showed also here a Texas average. The difference here is because in Texas, it looks like we use a little bit more energy than the average customer in the nation does. We use about 1,150 kilowatt hours, so that makes all the numbers a little bit bigger. But the average in Texas in 2014 was $137, and based on that higher consumption, we're about $117. So you can see we're And I tried to show that last night, and hopefully at least a few of those folks believed me when I presented that information to them. The last slide I have is just our audit calendar, just to kind of give you all an update. The field work will actually begin the Monday after Thanksgiving. The auditors will be here. They'll be at the city, and they'll be in our offices at LP&L. They'll also be, we have all the WTMPA books. We've received those from WTMPA, so they'll have that there to go through. Take that through the 16th of December. Then until that time, until about the end of January, the auditors will be reviewing the financial statements and getting their, hopefully we're getting their opinion by around the, actually we won't get their opinion really till they take it to the council. But on February the 7th, we're anticipating having a finance subcommittee meeting. It will more than likely be a posted meeting, so any of the board members are welcome to attend that as well. That is the morning of the 7th, the afternoon of the 7th of February. The auditors will be here to present to the audit committee of the city. And so that'll be the activities that day. Then on the 21st of February, at that point we should have our opinion. We will present the audit to you, the Electric Utility Board. And then a couple days later, the BKD will be here to present the audit to the council. So that kind of gives you an idea. It's a very time-consuming process. They go through a lot of our processes. We always, every year, go through an update of our internal controls that are in place. In every 5 or 6 years, it looks like we do go through a really in-depth review of those internal controls, and that's what we're going through this year, so a lot closer look there. So at this point, we still do not anticipate any issues. In fact, we're well ahead of schedule from where we would normally be, and already have just about everything ready for the auditors already. So that's just a quick update, and if anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
I would encourage, on February 7th, when they come back with basically a draft of the report and their required communications, you can get as nuts and bolts as you want down in the weeds, and I would encourage all of our finance committee members and any board member that wants to come to that meeting, and we'll get down as deep as y'all would get in the financial statements. I would also encourage city council members to come to the audit finance committee meeting. We will do the same thing with the full cap, especially I'm preaching to choir to y'all that we have some new councilmen who really probably would benefit from that tremendously.
Mr. Chairman, who's on the financial committee?
That's myself, Mr. Conrad, well, let's see, Mr. Rice, and Ms. Henry. So we're one short until we get, which we should be able to do that again next month.
Yes.
Well, Mr. Kastner, I believe we will need to post that meeting.
The February 7th
Even
meeting,
if
Mr. Chairman.
we just title it as a finance committee, we need to post that. So
Yes, sir.
that's my understanding.
It will also need to make a accommodation and posting at the end for that quorum.
Okay, so if we have, but I think that's fine. I think we should do that.
Could the committee go into executive session?
Only on a properly posted executive session matter.
So if we include that on the agenda of the committee, then
Yeah. I don't know exactly what we'll be discussing, but the executive session.
a certain amount of part of our financial.
Well, we will talk about how that needs to be posted between now and then. But it's very, very good detailed analysis.
You don't need a quorum, and there are no action items anyway, right, Mr. President?
No.
You're right.
No, this is just question and answer. Words. Lost my, anything else, Mr. Burcham?
No, sir, that's what it is.
Any other questions? regarding the presentation. Okay? If there's not any other questions, then we'll go to item 9. Consider a resolution modifying the minute action taken by the Electric Utility Board in the meeting of September 20th, 2016. Such minute action placing a quote pause on most downtown utility relocation activities to authorize additional limited work by local power and light related to finalizing the phase 2 feeder line terminations and necessary switching energized cable. Mr. Kennedy, we need to take a motion, get this on the table.
So make a motion to
Second, motion made and seconded, so then I would,
Okay, we'll talk about it a little bit. The purpose for this change or this additional item to the approved list is so that we can complete terminations on the phase 2 of the underground circuit. All the conduits are in, the cable's been pulled, and it just simply needs to be terminated in the switchgear. In reviewing, and I was recollecting that we had talked about that at the meeting where this minute resolution was passed. Richard went back and listened to the tape, and sure enough, it was not. So this is something that needs to be completed. We've actually got this facility, 1301 Broadway, where there's a project underway right now to remove some transformers from the vault and put new pad mount transformers in that will be fed off that switch gear that sits out on the Avenue L like this. And so until we get that cable terminated, we energize that feeder circuit, we really can't complete the project that's underway on this.
so the resolution that's on page 20 of your materials would allow us to move forward with that feeder line termination, which would be for this.
Right.
Any questions? Other comments? Any Bubba?
Has any action been taken regarding the study for customer bank?
Yes. Yeah, there was actually a meeting last week on that to talk about some details that they had come up with, that they wanted some feedback from us before they went further. I was not able to attend that meeting, but had a good discussion. I received a summary of the meeting. So they're working on it. They're trying to develop the routes for the lines that go off the main feeder line where they place transformers. One of the things they've come up with is that we might want to standardize on an exterior dry type transformer that we can place on the exterior of the customer's facility, so that we don't have to go inside and raise all those issues about either converting the wiring or them having to bring wiring up to code. If we can do everything on the exterior of the building, it would go a lot smoother. So a lot of work has been done, but it's still probably a couple months away from being finished.
I was just going to ask what their proposed schedule was. Did we talk in January, February?
I think January. I think originally it was a 90-day project, so we're a month into it now.
David, when you were talking about putting connection on the outside of the building.
Right.
We've still got the same problems with coming inside, getting on.
Well, if we can reconnect the secondaries where they currently are connected. Right now they're connected from an overhead drop off of our aerial facilities. So what we would be doing is reconnecting at that same point of termination, which is the change of ownership right now. The weatherhead that goes up is owned by the customer. We run the service over and just makes connections at the weatherhead. So if we maintain that same point of delivery, I believe that we can do the rest of the work ourselves if the board and council choose for us to do that.
Without the customer incurring the cost.
Right. And so there wouldn't be the code problem if you don't touch the wiring that's inside the facility. That was one of the big concerns we had about going inside, having the dry type transformer placed inside the building.
But we have to do the proper step up, step down, outside.
Right.
Before the weather.
Right.
Maintain existing secondary voltage before you go on the building, then we don't have a bunch of customers complaining about anything other than having to schedule the outage for the building.
Right.
So there'll be some time when the building's dead so that they can get in and do the work before it gets brought back up power-wise, but you won't have a bunch of ticked off people saying, why do I have to go spend money on a building?
And there's still a question about the cost and whether we pay for it or whether there's some contribution required by the customer. That's an issue that we will talk about later on when we get the results of the study and have a better feel for the costs.
Okay, very good. Good questions. So any other discussion on item 9? All those in favor of the resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Say 0. Then we will go to item 10. That's discuss and take tentative action setting the date, time, and place of December 26th meeting. I guess I can talk about that a little bit. The normal date that we would have the December meeting was, I believe it's the 20th, right, which gets us into not too long before the weekend before Christmas. So the way things tend to work these days, that whole period from about the 20th to 1st of January tends to be a time when people are looking for more flexibility in their schedules. So we thought we would put on the table setting the date for the December meeting is the 13th. I believe I've captured that. That's the preferred date at this point. Yes.
I know all political subdivisions are not the same, but are we required to have a meeting, whether we really feel like we've got business that needs attention or not? Or some other entities I've been involved with, our laws require weekends, like 9 a year, that sort of thing. Do we have some things coming up in December that we feel like we could? As far as we know, we have to change.
I'm not sure.
I guess first question on Mr. President, are we required to have a monthly scheduled meeting?
I believe we are. I believe we are.
I think the board rules call for a meeting a month. Now, if there is a meeting in which there's no business, I suppose that meeting could be canceled.
I think the safe thing to do would be to go ahead and schedule a meeting. If it turns out that we don't have business items and we can just cancel the meeting or not.
I believe the December meeting is when our board policy is called for reorganizing the board.
That's right.
I believe that has to be.
The board rules call for election of officers. And
That's like the annual meeting, so to speak.
We do have an online customer service contract to bring, that we would certainly like to get on this schedule.
And my feelings are hurt, but you don't want to do this.
Well, I'll meet, if y'all meet, I'll meet, if I'm still working.
And I don't think staff had a problem with the regular meeting date, at least I don't know. But
I don't know.
it was just a thought that some board members might be traveling for one.
Most people head out of town, between, I guess.
I can't remember.
20th Friendship and Allies deal.
Well, that's what I was fixing to say. When my kids get out of school, then I'm going where my wife is. And
Wherever your wife's
wherever
going.
you're going.
Christmas is not till Sunday. Is school out starting that Monday?
Yes.
Actually, it's out.
Well,
That
technically
Friday.
they get early release on the 16th, that Friday before.
Today it's dismissed.
As long as we've got a quorum, whatever you want to do is fine with me.
The 13th works for me, and I think that's a good compromise for everybody here. People like good, as children, and Jane, she's got grandkids.
I think the 13th is good for those of us who have kids in school. I think it'd be
And for staff.
good for the staff. We'll just go ahead and get her done.
What time?
I think we would normally 1:30 or 2, or you go back to 2 o'clock start time. We'll figure that out. It kind of depends on how big the agenda is.
So when are you going to let us know? We'll schedule something.
What time we're gonna start or what?
No, are we for sure on the 14th?
We're either gonna adopt a resolution or not adopt it today. So the time is December 13th.
Well, I didn't see any action items.
Unless you have another date you want.
No, I'm fine, but I don't, there's no action. on it.
It's min-
It is.
Minutes and.
Minutes and action.
Oh, then, okay. I'll make a motion that we meet at 1:30 on the 13th.
Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor, 132? Aye. Now, it may happen that when we go through the agenda, we may need to modify the start time. It will be December.
Levy, will you push that over to the city council office so they can go on
Yes.
All right, consent agenda. Item 11, consider a resolution authorizing the director to execute a certain right of entry by and between the city of Lubbock, acting by and through the electric utility board and the city council and Texas Tech University related to a potential substation site. Item 12, consider a resolution authorizing the director of electric utilities to execute a certain minimum lease agreement by and between South Plains Regional Workforce. That's a lease for office space here in the Lubbock Business Center. Item 13, consider a resolution authorizing the purchasing manager to execute a purchase order for Border State Industries for single-phase pad mount transformers. And item 14, consider a resolution rejecting all proposals to RFP 712660 EUA in electronic LP&L meter reading devices. Does anybody want to pull any of those individual items? Assuming everybody's read the backup in their packets. Mr. Conrad moves, we approve those. Is there a second? Second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That brings us to item 15. We will be adjourned.
Olivia, is there gonna